Thank you, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Uh, Good afternoon. I hope you all have tea. You are all energized for the topic which I'm going to cover today. So we are actually going to talk about the AI-driven DevSecOps engine. Like AI is the key and it's actually being used in almost every industry. We are actually using AI in almost everything. We have smart homes, we have smart watches. So we are actually almost leveraging AI in almost every industry at the moment. And today we would be actually covering this agenda. Like first I would be talking about digital AI because digital AI is a newly formed company 4 years back. So I would be doing a brief introduction on the company, talking about the trends in the industry and then talking about the AI powered solution which we have from digital AI and how we can actually unlock the potentials. So digital.ai actually was formed 4 years back by acquiring 5 big companies which are already leaders into their respective domains, right from the agility to the deployment. So the first acquisition which was there was the company called as Collabnet, where we have solutions like version 1, which is now known as agility, where we can manage our user stories, we can manage our project and portfolios, and we can actually deliver the application in a more agile fashion. And that company was formed when Agile Manifesto was actually signed. It's a very prominent name into the industry. They also have the source code management softwares where you can actually have build for, you can securely save the code and have those repositories. But once you're actually developing the application, you also need to test that application, right? So we acquired another company known as Experitest, which gives you a platform where you can actually test these applications on real devices and real browsers. Because that's a big challenge in almost every organization that you don't get the adequate environments where you can actually test. So this continuous testing platform gives you an environment where you can actually test your application on real devices, different screen sizes, and even on the beta versions, and all the browsers which you have in the industry. But then again, the next challenge, security. People talk about SAST and DAST, right? We are following all those SAST and DAST practices, but no one is actually talking about the latest hacks being done. People are actually being troubled by the fake applications. You see fake applications being created for the famous banks or the airlines companies across the globe. What we are actually doing to protect the application code. So we have another company which was acquired known as Arxon, which actually give us an application protection solution, which actually help you to protect the application at the code level. Means you add a layer of protection, and rather than sharing a normal APK IPA to the customers, we would be sharing a protected application, and we can give confidence back to the customer that their data and integrity is also protected. No one can actually do the reverse engineering on applications. And then comes our DevOps portfolio, which comes from a Zebia Lab acquisition, where we have solutions like Excel Release, Excel Deploy, which can actually help you to integrate at all these phases of SDLC, which people they're actually missing. People they're actually doing the DevOps only on bits and pieces, but DevOps is required right from the day one when you're actually into the inception phase. So we actually help you to follow those DevSecOps practices at each level. And on top of it, the last acquisition which was done was the Analytic Lenses, which was a company known as Numerify, which was leader to the value stream management, where they give you visibility across this SDLC space, where you might be using solutions from digital AI or even a third-party solutions, and give you those valuable insights in every phase of the life cycle, right from the planning to deployment. And even after deployment, once the application goes live, it can even give you the traceability back to a requirement and the code, which are actually getting affected because of these things. If I talk about the industry, we are an industry leader. We have been recognized as a leader from the last 10 years in almost every industry report, whether it's Gartner, Forrester, or IDC. So here are some examples, like we are agile planning leaders. We are actually also leaders in the continuous testing or developer space. We are also leaders into the mobility space. And if I talk about my customer base, 53% of the customers are already using our solutions. Though it's a new operation which was from 4 years back, but the solutions are available from decades. Many of the solutions are actually available for more than 2 decades. And the customers talks about the value that what we actually bring back to the users. We have 53% of the Fortune 100 customers, where we have around 8 of the top banks European banks, American banks, or the top gaming companies across the globe, they're already using our solutions to deliver the application with confidence. And when we say delivering the application with confidence, it means everything. For me, quality has 3 parameters: functionality, performance, and security. So we do support all 3 of them. Functionality by testing this application on a continuous testing platform, security by adding a layer of protection, and functionality can be tested by the continuous testing platform itself. If I talk about the current trends which are actually driving the industry, right? So you might have seen that people, they have already started following agile practices, and AI is actually helping in a big way. But still people, they're not able to actually use agile efficiently, because agile can sometimes be fragile also. You need to have a lot of innovation, you need to have that culture mindset, you need to have a lot of collaboration. But many of the time, like many of the people say that they are adopting agile practices. It's also helping us a big way, but people find it very hard to actually adopt those agile practices. We're also leveraging DevOps, but DevOps is also creating, everyone has a different definition of DevOps. Even within the organization, there are different teams using DevOps in a different way. We don't have a unified way of using DevOps at the enterprise level. The DevOps is only being used at a project level or a program level, not at the enterprise level. And many of the time, we know that the data is the key. We are actually getting a lot of data from different sources, but we don't know that what data need to be used to take an informed decision. So we are lacking all those things within the application to take those informed decisions. And Forrester said that people who started agile or people who started using AI early, they're already getting benefited. But people who are just trying to experiment the things, they're actually getting some difficulties in delivering those applications. People, they're actually trying to migrate to cloud. Now, from DevOps to platform engineering is the way, right? There are only 30% of the people who are able to actually achieve the DevOps practices, and by 2027, it's expected that 80% of the people have to migrate so that they can run the business efficiently, either they would be out of the game. But there are challenges. There are challenges because the uncertainty is high. People, they are developing the application, but they don't know the real information. They are actually making the decision based on the intuitions or the experience which they have. They're not doing the decisions based on the real data. That exactly is the logic where people, they're actually simply going with the gut feeling and releasing the application and then getting production issues, or they have a very limited visibility within the application code that what exactly is happening. They have already created DevOps practices, but they're not able to scale up to the organization level. They're not able to optimize it accordingly. They have use cases which are unclear. They have AI, which is actually helping them a big way, but they're not able to leverage AI that what data need to be used in what sense to expedite the processes which are actually creating a bottleneck within the application. So what exactly is being done, why it is challenging is because we have different personas who are actually doing bits and pieces throughout the life cycle. Right from when you start ideation, you have different set of tools being used. You see different personas being used in every phase of the life cycle, right? And each of these personas, they're actually working in their own silos. They're not giving information to different teams. Continuous testing or DevOps is actually basically a continuous delivery and a feedback, which need to be given back and forth, right from the ideation phase to the delivery phase, right? And if we have this siloed, that's the biggest challenge because we are not sharing information with each other so that we are actually working collaboratively. So the other challenge which we see is the tool sprawl. People use different tools to do different things into their respective domains. And these tools, they're not integrated with each other. And when we talk about integration of these tools, it sometimes becomes very challenging because people, they're okay with their own safety zones. They don't want to come out from the safety zone and integrate with others. And they said, everything is working fine at my end. The issue is not mine. It might be yours, right? So what we actually do here, we provide a platform, a single platform which will actually help you to automate the releases, which can connect to all these phases of the SDLC. We start with the planning phase. So once we plan the application, we write the code, we can write the code and then have an environment where the things can be tested. Then we protect the application at the code level. Once the code is being tested, we can leverage, release, and deploy so that we can actually go at the enterprise scale. For me, enterprise scale means I want releases and deployments to happen every minute, every second. That's the scale I'm talking about. The teams, they're only using DevOps to actually accelerate journey into their respective domains, but they're not thinking enterprise. Organization always needs an enterprise solution when they have to scale, right? And once we're actually doing this, we also need to operate and monitor. So once you go to the monitoring phase or when you go to production, you also need to have a lot of data, right? But I can't force people to use my platform. They might be using one or the other solutions already into these respective landscapes, like into different areas of SDLC. So what we can do, we can leverage these integrations. So we have around 400 plus integration out of the box, which can help you to integrate with the existing ecosystem you would be using and give you that valuable information so that you can take those informed decisions based on the real data. We also give you automated mobile application in the security test platform, means once your application test cases have been built, you can test those on real devices and real browsers, and you can embed those security practices right from the day one. You need not do it. During the panel discussion, someone asked about the performance, right? Performance is very critical. For me, quality has three parameters: functionality, performance, and security. Functionality can be tested by testing the application on the mobile devices and the browsers, right? For performance, typically performance testing starts when you have a staging environment, the application becomes stable, right? But we can't wait for the application to be stable. Typically, the performance starts right from the day one when you write your application requirement. You define your NFRs. Based on NFRs, you should be able to do early performance testing, and this continuous testing platform gives you an option to do early performance testing, to test those scenarios during the functional testing itself. And when your application is ready, you can actually run a performance test and you can run few tests on the real devices, giving you more insight on the application performance as well. And then we have the services and the intelligence part, which will actually help you to get intelligence from all these different phases. Because being from the requirement team or the business analyst team, I would need different dashboard, a CXO would need a different dashboard. So the AI platform will actually give you different dashboards or personas so that you can take your informed decisions into your respective domains, and then collectively you can give the real information to the management. So the first help with the AI would be like how you can actually automate the delivery workflows. So what we can do with the AI engine embedded in digital.ai, we can actually get those user stories which are actually defined in the solutions. We can translate back to requirements, epics, features automatically, and then we can also generate test cases out of them. And when the test cases are actually generated out of them, we can leverage the AI-assisted test creation utilities and create those automated scripts which we can execute on the platform and get those reports. And meanwhile, we can also help in securing the application code, and we can also use the AI accelerators to find the meaningful information that how we can reuse the DevSecOps practices to help organizations go at the next level. And integration with the security will actually help us to identify the threats. It might be from SAST and DAST solution. It can be from our monitoring platform, where we can identify that what kind of issues are actually happening in your application so that you are able to control your application at the security end as well. The other big benefit which can actually derive from AI is end-to-end software delivery. We can also, AI can actually help you to deliver the things faster and smarter. It can actually help you identify those risky changes, risky builds, because you can have an option to define the scoring. Based on the scoring, you can identify the risky changes in the application. You can govern the releases and mitigate the exposure. You can even automate the processes. You can confirm the scan and even integrate with the third-party ecosystem to get the quality insights of your application. This will actually help your DevOps team to empower with the self-reliant services which you can actually roll out to the users so that once my development is being done, your developer or a tester, they have an option to build and deploy the environments automatically, run their test. Once they are done, they can release the environment so that you can reuse those environments again and again. And this can actually even help you to establish the policies and regulatory compliances within your organization. Not only this, we can also use AI for a better decision capability. Currently, everyone is working in their own silos, but having an integrated environment or a collaborated environment will actually help you to identify the areas that where you need to do what. So we will give you persona-based reporting so that you can improve the software quality, you can accelerate the flow, you can identify the risky changes which are actually happening within the application, and you can also optimize the cost of service, SMPU. Because we are actually getting these insights directly from all the phases of the applications, including the production data. How this will actually help you out? So this solution or this investments will actually help you out in going towards the value stream management journey, which we call a value stream journey. You might be on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. No matter what phase you are actually in at the moment, we help you partner and align your business goals to the DevOps stream so that you can actually take informed decisions rather than intuition. You can have those decisions based on the real data. Because there would be some people here who would be on level 1, some would be on only a level 3 or level 4, but yeah, it's a journey, it's a collaboration, it's an effort. And having these investments said here, we can actually help organizations for an AI-accelerated software delivery platform, which helps you to take those predictive decisions and orchestrate the AI-based governance within your application. This will actually help you to have a better productivity by 50%. So these are some non-tangible benefits which you can actually get. It can even help you to develop the application more faster, more smarter, and your people will have time for more creativity. I don't want people to actually do the hard work. They need to do the smart work because they have now access to the information and click of a button. You're not going to the individual teams that I don't know the user story, what all test cases I should write. So this solution actually gives you each and every minute details from all the phases, no matter what you are using today. You might be using Jira, you might be using other tools. Whatever you're using, we are actually open for those integration and give you that landscape and ready for that partnership so that we can actually be on the value stream journey to take you on the next steps where you can actually derive the decision based on the real data and deliver high quality application to get the user confidence or the user rating. For me, quality is governed by the user rating we are actually getting on the Play Stores or App Stores, right? And what that user rating means, it's the user experience. How faster you are actually developing your application, how smarter your applications are, how fast they work, how secure they are, and how efficiently they work on the devices. If someone downloads the application, it's taking too much CPU, it will overheat the phone. Bad experience, right? We can actually identify all those things during the testing phases. We can even identify that what exactly went wrong if someone raises a performance defect in the production. I should be in a position to identify that what all test cases should be executed in order to validate whether that thing has been fixed or not. I should be able to go back to the line of code which was written for that code, for that particular functionality. So that's the level of integration and support we are actually providing to give you. And if you have any more questions, we have a booth outside. We would be happy to answer or take any questions on the platform. And if you have any questions right now, I would be happy to answer them. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, this is Samad from CPF board, public sector. So my question is related to the intuition-based decision-making on DevSecOps pipeline. So as we know, like obviously informed decision is possible with all the visibility and traceability, but eventually we end up doing a lot of intuition-based. So we also know your product, the digital AI, Numerify, And thanks for that insightful information from there. But my question is like how the objective data insight could help in the intuition-based decision making on the DevSecOps pipeline.
Okay, great question. So see, when we say about the intuition-based guidelines, they can be biased as well, right? So it depends. But here, what you're actually getting is an integrated approach from all the phases of the lifecycle. So means the time you specify your user story, it got translated back to a requirement. You write the test cases, you build those test cases. And then when you are actually building those environments, whether for the dev, test, or production, so what we are actually doing, we are actually leveraging our DevOps platform, which is Excel Release, Excel Deploy, which came from the ZB acquisition. Plus, we are also leveraging the Numerify capabilities where they actually pull out data from different sources and run AI ML algorithms on top of it based on the natural language processing and large LLM models, so that you get, because there is a lot of data in almost every source. And it's a very tedious task, because if I go to the functional team, they will give me another report. I go to the business analyst, they will give me another story. Operations team will say that, we have done everything, but I don't know what is actually happening. But this holistically will actually gather that data and run those algorithms and give you that meaningful information that you are able to derive those meaningful decisions rather than taking an institution-based approach. Yeah, boss, usne kar diya hoga, it would be right. No, you need to have real facts. Everyone need to be on the single source of truth. So basically what we are trying to do, we are actually trying to give a single source of truth for the customers so that they can take informed decisions. It also gives you the CXO level dashboards. A CXO are more informed, like they want that how much investment being done. What is the next release plan? Is there any critical defects which is there in the application at the moment? Because I don't want to take a compromise, because for a business, a small impact or a small issue within the application might impact the business image. Having these things in place will give you those triggers automatically, and then you can actually decide whether you're in a shape to go ahead or you need to have some predictive insights here, because sometimes the things are getting delayed if people they're not available. If you know that the people they're not available, you can assign it to someone else. So you're not waiting for people to actually take those decisions. Being at the project management level, you know that what need to be done at what level. Do I need to accelerate my testing? Do I accelerate development? Or I need my operations to be more operational so that they are actually giving that functionality to my users. They're not waiting for those environments to be created. So that's the functionality which we are actually giving. And like you mentioned Numerify. Numerify is already doing those things from ages now, right? So they're already leaders into this value stream management because they have that integration with 400 plus sources. 400 plus sources is not a joke. So we bluntly say that whatever you are using, just come to us. We'll actually help you figure out that how we can actually help you to take those informed decisions and take your business to the next level.
Thank you, Pankaj. If you have any more questions, you can visit their booth, digital.ai. And thank you so much, Pankaj, for joining us today.